Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And so before you get your turkey, I figured I'd get a word in. I wasn't going to get a word in, but since Pastor Streeter had me come up and actually came up and told me to give remarks, but I decided I'd get half of a word in. I've been to several ceremonies this week where the question of the week, the question of the season is, what are we thankful for? And as you sit and listen, you kind of ponder it. And of course, we've had however many years you've been living to think about it, because it's every year. What are you thankful about? And I just decided I'd flip the switch. As we get older, I tell you, I'm feeling extremely old because I'm feeling very mature in the last couple of years. I'm just feeling like, whoa, way brimstone. So I'm thinking, what are we really thankful for? And as I mentioned this morning, I think sometimes we are so pretentious in our behavior. We want to say what sounds good, what we think people think we should be saying, So it's those intimate moments that you spend in your quiet time. For me, it's running. It's when I'm out running, it's just way too much time to think, when I decide I'm going to do a long run. But this week I was thinking, what am I truly grateful for? And I can't get away from the fact that I lost a good friend a month ago. And her death was suddenly, and it was shocking to me how I found out looking at the obituary page. And that's Bridget. You guys, if you follow me, you know the story. And Bridget was a stylist in the area. And though she had a lot of customers, she didn't have as many customers. I mean, they actually asked the people who were her clients to stand at the homegoing service, and it wasn't as many people standing, nearly as many people that were there. Hundreds of people that were there, and Bridget was like a magnet, and it was just repeated throughout the service. She just had this ability to draw people to her, and it was because she had such a loving, kind spirit, and just always very encouraging, just always very humorous, just easygoing, That's how I met her in the gym, and she just came over and was like, oh, I want a body like that, and we just immediately clicked. I mean, she just was a nice person. And so since her funeral, I've always said this, because I've done a lot of funerals. At the end of the day, did your life matter today? After sitting with so many people over the past 15 years in ICU for hours, days, weeks sometimes, and they're on ventilators and just there, for the whole day. And as we move and have our being, I say, did our life matter? Did it matter that we were alive today? And I'm happy that I'm at a place where I can say that I believe at the end of the day that today my life mattered to someone. And what really made me feel good during the time that I was going to her service, I had mentioned to a lot of people that, she just had this wonderful spirit, and she just had an impact on people's lives. And so many people that I was telling that to says, well, Dallas, you've had such an impact on my life, and they were just in a very humble manner. And that made me feel good. It made me feel good because you want to do what God has placed us here to do. So I say all of that to say, on this day of Thanksgiving, let us start being grateful for the ability to be able to make a difference in other people's lives. Let's be grateful today that someone is thankful that we exist, and not from a monetary standpoint. But if that's the thing, if you're giving this brother $500 to pay his rent, then hey, but let us make the difference as believers. We want to be the light. I said this morning that I didn't want to jump out and say, I'm grateful that I am the light in people's lives, because that may sound a little narcissistic on first win. So I choose to say what I've been thinking all week is that I am grateful that I believe, because I really believe. And I say it all the time that I don't believe that we believe what we're selling. Believers. And when you really believe that God is on the throne, when you really believe that the person responsible for the coming up of the sun and the going down of the same is on the throne, and he's my Father, I belong to him, my life was created for his pleasure, then no matter what's happening, you really believe it's going to be okay. You really believe that Even if it doesn't feel okay, it's okay. You believe. So when you get to that point, you believe that God is my refuge. I believe. So all the things that we stand up and say, I'm thankful that God is my healer. I'm thankful. And it so rolls off of our tongue where the essence of it, we don't really believe what we're saying. We sing the songs. We fall out singing, I love the Lord. I really love the Lord. But at the same time, does our behavior exhibit that? And as someone said today who's coming off of cancer, I'm a living or walking testimony. You hear that a lot. I'm a walking testimony when people stand up to give their testimony how God has brought them through an illness or something. I say that we're all a walking testimony, and our lives ought to be able to speak for us. Our life should say that this is who we are. This is what I'm thankful for. So I went running this morning, and I was goofing around, and I should have been out the door at 6:45, and I didn't get running until 7:30, but not really focusing on it. So at my halfway point, 3.5 miles out, I got 3.5 miles to come back. It was 7:47. No, it was almost actually 8 o'clock, because by the time I left here, it was 7:30. So I got to the halfway point about 5 after 8, and I'm saying, oh my God, because I've got to get back. And I was like, I don't feel like running that fast. And I was overdressed because they kept talking about how cold it was going to be this morning. So I had like layers upon layers, and instead of a windbreaker that I could have just put around my waist, I would have had to like do a striptease act. So I was probably running a little slower. And then I was like, man, I need to be in church at 9 o'clock. And I believe I can't run that fast to get back home, but I believe that God answers prayer. And I was like, okay, God, I need you to just stop the time for a minute and make my little legs run faster than they normally run so that I can get to church, because I know, and that's something that I'm really thankful for, is that I know I'm always going to hear a good sermon from Pastor Streeter. And usually Thanksgiving services are a little bit more low-key, so you get the genuine, just down home folks stomping the feet, kind of want to sing those old time hymnals. So it's always a good thing. I wanted to leave this with you. 1 Corinthians 13:1. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not love, they have charity here, and have not love, I am become as sounding brass, or a tinkling cymbal. I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal noise. So in all that we do, in all the expressions that we have for our thankfulness, our gratefulness, at the end of the day, when we believe that we are the children of God, when we believe that God has created us for a purpose, when we believe that God is on the throne, no matter what the atmosphere is, locally, nationally, internationally, no matter what's happening, no matter what storm, physical, emotional, that we find ourselves in, then something happens. We emanate a light, and that is the light of the world, and the dark world will not see us, because it's not about me, but to see the source of my light and come to God. And when people see that, they see hope and they experience hope. And someone came to me afterwards with a little situation that she wanted me to kind of offer some advice on. And I was saying that at times like this, during the holidays, we come with family, and not all of our families are believers. And not just that, every day we come into an atmosphere with people that are not in the same place or in the belief that we're in. But yet, this is the perfect and the best time for us to make a difference. And that difference doesn't come from telling them that they need to come to church, that they need to read the Bible, they need to do this, because that's Greek to them. But people can come away because they know that you believe, they know that you go to church, they know that you believe and you do this and that. But it's better when they come from you, because they already know that, with a feeling of love, especially when they know that you have differing viewpoints. And so at the end of the day, I read that to say that everything that we believe in, our philosophy, theology, doesn't matter if the ones that we're trying to reach, the darkness, doesn't feel loved at the end of the day. And so whatever we do, and she says, oh, but they're hurtful and they're resentful, and when I exhibit love, they don't return it. The love that we do is for the love of God. We love because he first loved us. And so whatever we do, it doesn't matter how other people reciprocate that or not. It's just that we do what we know what God wants us to do. And that makes all the difference in the world. And the closer you walk with God, the more you're going to be ostracized, the more people are not going to want to deal with you, the less invitations you're going to get. And just because of the fact that you are the light. And darkness and light, you don't come into a room and say, oh, it's light and it's dark. The two can't coexist. So it becomes difficult. And they're not there yet, so they're not going to give up their ground. So it's a fight. And it's the fight that Jesus had. And we recognize that. And the more we walk with him and do that, carrying of the cross is the thing that says that we're willing to serve and to be like him. And so the woman that came from the well, it wasn't about going to tell people that you come to Christianity. It's about the man. She talked about the man that she met and how he made her feel. The man made her feel loved. The man made her feel valuable. And that's what we want people to do. When they come to us, we want them to feel like they've been with Jesus, even though they didn't know Jesus. For you and I, that's love. So when they come from us, they can say, she's a lovely person. We don't believe the same thing. We don't have the same behavior. And she knows the type of behavior. That's nothing better than, it's not the closet person. It's the person that knows that you and they are different. You accept that. You don't accept it in terms of your religious beliefs, but you accept them and you're loving them in spite of them. I mean, that's just powerful because it just breaks down. I say this as a cliche, love trumps all. It really does. And I just say, did you just make people feel loved? And then I told the young lady, I left her with this. I says, at the end of the day, that darkness is going to want to find the light. And when people get to the bottom of that barrel, when people get to that point where they're tired of trying to fake it, they're tired of trying to find the answer at the bottom of a bottle or the end of a needle or in a bed, they are going to look up. And when they look up to the light in their dark world, they're going to see you because you are the light that shines so brightly in the midst of them shining in their darkness. And they'll seek you out. It happens all the time. If you live long enough, you'll experience it. People will come to you and they'll start out by saying that. When I was in my mess, or when I was doing my thing, or when I was that, Dallas, you came to me and but you were kind. And so they'll come back. And even if they don't, even if you don't see it in your lifetime, even if you don't see it, it doesn't matter. Just know that there's somebody that believed that you are a loving and a kind person. And that you also believe in God. That's important too, because there are a lot of loving and kind people that don't believe in God. So that's the thing. So that's my 2 cents for today. I am getting ready to do some cooked food. I do cooked food a couple of times a month. So today would be the day after my little 7-mile run. And my stomach I usually come back, I do some jumping jacks, I do some stretches, I put my little old bones in some Epsom salt. I was so like coming in the front door doing a striptease act, getting in the shower. I was in and out of here. That's military training. Veteran Dallas knows how to take a 20-second shower, get dressed, soldier, get on the floor. So I was like so out of my house in 10 minutes. I grabbed me 3 bananas, an apple, and a pear, and I just didn't have time to eat them between here and getting to the church. And then I just did a little fellowshipping afterwards, and I had to stop by, drop my dad some poinsettias. I'm thankful for the cross. I'm so thankful for this cross that I have in my possession. I just love it. I love it. I love it. At night I sit and I just sit. So have a good day. For all of you who are going to eat way too much turkey, way too much stuffing, way too much sweet potato pie, way too much whatever else people eat, mac and cheese, and way some other stuff while you're watching the Redskins in Dallas this afternoon. We are available for detox. Sister Cheryl, Pastor Streeter's wife, is like, okay, Dr. Dallas, I'm going to be calling you this week to get our little detox on. That's all good. We're here. www.lifebydallas.com to get your juice detox. I'm going to send out a video clip and so y'all can know that we are Still in the business of juices. And I want to say this. I want to spend some time going through it. I haven't had an opportunity to really talk about it. But Mom's, My Organic Market, has discontinued True Pop popcorn. That's right, 17 stores. Found out a couple of weeks ago. I know, and a lot of you found out before I did, and you all have been emailing me. And I thank God that I am a victor, that we're not like David in the Old Testament where we had to fight. We are more than conquerors. All we do is stand still. And I thank all of you, my customers, who have taken it to Mom's. And that's how I found out when you guys sent me emails saying, and they had the nerve to say, so that's right, go and do your thing. But apparently, we knew this. Some of you, a couple of months ago, we got an email, a picture of Earth Balance popcorn was discontinued. And some of our really nice health food stores put a sign up saying that they've been discontinued. May we recommend our favorite True Pop? But Mom's decided that that wasn't the route that they wanted to take. And they're actually going to private label their own popcorn. And what does that have to, I mean, great, but let us share the space with you. So why is it that they don't want us to share space? They said we had low sales in their store. Yep, you know, because you've been talking to them. So that's that, but we're good. We're good because we belong with God, and I believe, because 2019, I've been doing some other stuff. I just haven't talked about it a lot yet because I've been so busy doing it. But 2019 is looking spectacular, and we're excited about what God is doing for True Pop popcorn and some other things that we're going to be doing. So on that note, just want to let you know, just in case you were going to run over to Mom's to get some True Pop for the game this afternoon, you can still get it from Wegmans. You can still get it from some of the Whole Food stores here locally. We're going to do our thing to get back into the rest of the Whole Food stores to make it more convenient for you as well. Brown's Market has it on sale, 2 for $5 over in Temple Hills. We have it on our website. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it, so it's not like it's not accessible, but just FYI. Yeah. God bless you guys. Enjoy your day. Love on your mixed families this weekend, and be the love that God wants us to be. Have people think, yeah, you know what? I had Thanksgiving with my cousin who's a deacon, and he's a very loving person. So just let the love come through. You know, we can all get along. All right. Amen. God bless you. I'll see you soon.